everyone, it's Miss K and welcome to Read Out Loud Fridays. It's our very last Friday of 2020 and we have three amazing authors on the screen today. As you can see, we have Miss Karen Pessoa. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. We have Mr. Morris on the top screen and we have KP Carter. And so I'm going to be mentioning a little bit about them and then they'll be reading their books. We have some debut two kids on the side. They're waving. So they are excited as well to read. So I'm going to start off with Miss Karen, read a little bit about her bio, and then she's going to read her book and introduce herself as well. So there's a little bit about her. Karen Pessoa is a self-published author from Toronto, Canada. She is a childlike at heart, and it comes as no surprise that she has dedicated her adult life to being an early childhood educator in the private sector. Presently, she specializes in supporting children with special needs. She has a gentle and caring nature with the children in her care. They gravitate towards her like bees to honey. She is skilled at keeping the children calm with captivating storytelling abilities. Karen's love of children's storytelling and the world of make-believe ignited her passion for writing stories for young children. Cam's Sneakers is Karen's debut book for young children and older readers alike. Excuse me, with many more to come. She was born in the sunny island of Kingston, Jamaica, on the 14th of August, 1965. Their family migrated in 1974 to Toronto with only a suitcase in hand, filled with her most prized possessions. At the tender age of 9, the transition was difficult as she left her friends and extended family behind. Her deepest regret was leaving behind her beloved dog Rover. She grew up in the 70s and 80s before the cell phone or smart TV. Unfortunately, I was after that. Sorry, guys. She would cringe talking about her age. It was a well-kept secret until now. But she looks beautiful, so I don't know what she's talking about. Looking back, playgrounds, the beach, and friendships are memories she recalls fondly. The only call to get home in time for dinner in her youth would have been the street lamps clicking on before dusk or her mom running down the street towards her with a kitchen utensil. I know that part. She is a divorced mom with 2 adult children and a proud grandmother of 1. Her family is sometimes embarrassed by her outrageous dance moves. Don't worry, I have them too. And amusing behavior and joyous laughter. Her granddaughter, at the age of 5, is of the opinion that she's not only the master of kids' craft, but the super queen as well. So
it's actually supper queen. It's actually the supper queen.
It's supper queen. Sorry. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to be reading her book. I'm going to be taking everybody else off, and they'll be tuning in soon.
Hello, everybody. And my book is called Cam Sneakers, and it's illustrated by Lukman Amanat. I hope you enjoy it. I am Cam. These are my sneakers. They are blue with orange speakers. They can go super fast or super slow. They play music as I go. Oops. Okay, maybe we should start again. That's okay. That's the fun of going live. So, these are my sneakers. They can go super fast or super slow. They play music as I go. Oh dear. Whoopsie, we're not coordinated here. So let's just get this really organized before we start again, okay? I am Cam. I am Cam. These are my sneakers. They are blue with orange speakers. They can go super fast. Or super slow. They play music as I go. My blue sneakers with orange speakers can be so loud, especially in a crowd. My blue sneakers with orange speakers are indeed keepers. My blue sneakers with orange speakers are so much sleeker than my brother Peter's. My blue sneakers with orange speakers annoy the teacher while I sit on the bleachers. I wear them both inside and outside the house. But without them, I'm as quiet as a mouse. The day my sneakers disappeared, this is what I had always feared. I only take them off in bed, and now I'm only seeing red. Red with fear that my blue sneakers with orange speakers will lose all of their cool features. The pairs were always together, even in very bad weather. I needed time to think. The pairs have vanished in a blink after checking all about. All I want to do is shout, "No!" Gone without a trace. They've been misplaced. Can you see my face? I was in a terrible state. Where else can I look? Perhaps my book nook. I look high, I look low. Where on earth did they go? I look left, I look right. My blue sneakers with the orange speakers are still nowhere in sight. Tell me how. My blue sneakers with the orange speakers disappeared somehow. Remember how we liked to play? And now you've gone away. I wish you would have stayed. Friends we are, you and me. This is how it should always be. The night has come, the day is done. My eyes are closed. I have a bear to hold. He makes me feel safe, cuddly and warm, even during thunderstorms. Now my story has been told. While in sleep, I do weep for my blue sneakers with orange speakers. As I wake, is it a mistake? My heart no longer aches. Could it be? My eyes did see my blue sneakers with orange speakers. Was it real? It's no joke. I needed a poke. I did squeal and squeal and squeal. Hooray! 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 My heart beats fast. Yesterday has passed. My blue sneakers with orange speakers have come home to me at long last. The end. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but that's the hazards of going live.
Yes, sorry about that, guys. Thank you so much, Miss Karen, all the way from Toronto. She is on the stream. So I just have to ask, do you have any things or tidbits that you would like to tell any of the kids out there and parents?
I just want to highlight how it's really important for all the kids, even adults, that have a favorite object that they like to keep close, and how important it is to use it, especially during these times of COVID, and how stressful it is for everybody, and to highlight how even children is having a hard time dealing with the stresses of COVID, and even having to see their parents um, being afraid or looking worried. It does impact them, and how this story just highlights how essential comfort items is in the lives of children.
Yes, yes. And so before you go, because I know you have to go, can you provide your social media platforms for me?
Sure. I Camp Sneakers is available on Amazon, all over worldwide, and it's also available on Barnes and Noble and Ingram Sparks. You could also find me and more about me on KarenPessoaAuthor.com.
All right. Well, thank you for having us. Have a great weekend and
Thank
see you
you so much.
soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So up next, we have James Morris. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about James Morris. He also is featuring his two handsome sons in the background. So a little about him. James Morris Jr. was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. He is an economist for the federal government, an investor, and a real estate coach for new investors interested in property ownership. He earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in economics from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Saying all types of words. Mr. Morris purchased his first investment property at the age of 24 and used the equity in his first investment property to purchase his first commercial multi-family property. So you should get with him, guys. He knows what he's talking about. He is the father of 3 intelligent children. Their names are Langston, Camden, and Carrington, which is his daughter. Knowing the importance of educating his children about property ownership, investing, and financial literacy and general wealth, Mr. Morris began writing a series of children books which reflects children of color and the importance of financial literacy and building generational wealth. He hopes that his books and courses inspire people to understand the importance of financial literacy for themselves and their children. So I'm going to be turning it over to Mr. James Morris and his 2 sons.
Hi everyone, let me get the screen shared. Share that screen. Okay, we're gonna do it with the book. All right. So this is the children's book here, and this is the cover, Trip to the Building with Camden and Langston on the front. And it begins on the first day of each month. Mr. Morris' plan was the same. He would put on his clothes, boots, and tools, but on this day, he noticed something a little strange. He could see from across the room that his tools were rearranged. This is page 2 and 3. Mr. Morris went to look for the twins in their room. There stood Langston in front of the mirror. Langston was wearing his tool belt, and Camden's demeanor had changed. Camden was pacing around the room, calling himself James. Mr. Morris smiled and said, "One day all that you see will soon be yours. Get your jacket. We are going for a ride. It is time for you to take your first property tour." This is the next page. "Where are we going?" asked the boys. Morris replied, "We are going to the building to do some chores and for you to see what will soon be yours." The next page here. "Here's what you do. Arrive early in the morning before the tenants can spend their pay. Knock 3 times on the door, and this is what you say. Today is the day that I collect your pay. No ifs, ands, or buts. I only want to hear you say, okay. A voice on the other side of the door said, tell him I don't have his money and to return another day. Fair enough, says Morris. I will catch him before he gets away, but most importantly, enjoy his day. The next page here. The crew dashed up the stairs and went to the next door. 3 knocks on the door, and Morris said, today is the day that I collect your pay. No ifs, ands, or buts. I only want to hear you say okay. The tenant replied, I have your rent, but this annoying drip, drip, drip is really not fair. Please stop the drip with one of your trusty repairs. So next page. Mr. Morris said, don't worry, just stop and think. Bring tools and place them next to the sink.
What do we need? I am ready to listen and proceed. Okay, said Mr. Morris. Put on your gloves before you proceed. Now hand me the tool that you think I will need.
And the next page.
I don't know. Please tell me what you need.
And here is the next 2 pages here. I need the monkey wrench, Morris said. Grab it from the toolbox and set it on the bench. Camden asked, where's the monkey and what's a wrench? Morris replied, the wrench is silver and is used to twist and turn. Pay attention so you can learn.
But I don't know which way to turn the wrench.
The way to remember when something is tight is lefty-loosey and righty-tighty. But not too tight, because if it breaks, we will be here all night. And here's the next page. After completing the repair, they dashed up the stairs to the next tenant's door. 3 knocks on the door, and they yelled out together, today is the day that I collect your pay. No ifs, ands, or buts. I only want to hear you say okay. And then this is the next interaction with the tenant. So I'm going to stop there because we actually visit 4 tenants in the building, and it goes through the repairs and the tools. So in this book, they use the wrench, the screwdriver, the hammer, and some oil. So the book was written for them to show them the things that we do at the property when we're making repairs, when we collecting rent, and more importantly, how we acquire additional assets.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morris. And we have a special feature of his 2 sons. I believe they were Langston and it was Kingston.
Camden.
If I'm correct. Camden. Yeah, I'm mixing up everything. It was great having you guys on. I love that you're matching the book from your little sweaters on there. It's great seeing you guys on here. So my question to you is, what do you want to leave the kids with?
He said buildings. So, just the understanding of the importance of acquiring assets and having assets to pay for the liabilities, but the generational wealth component, so that they understand what it is to be an owner of something and to continue to acquire and live your life through the power of real estate.
Amazing, amazing. Hopefully when my son is old enough, I'll send him your way. All right. And so just leave us with your social media platforms.
So the website is www.triptothebuilding.com. On Facebook and Instagram, we're Landlord Chronicles, and you can find us there. We're always updating there, and the website will have like the next features and where we will be.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So thank you for being on here tonight. Have a great weekend to you and the boys. Up next is Miss Lovely KP Carter. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then she's going to take it away. So, KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer, is a children's book creator, speaker, and educator. She earned her BA degree from Johnson C. Smith University, North Carolina, and MED degree from Kutztown State University, Kutztown, PA. For 35 years, she taught students in grades 3 through post-secondary level, supervised language arts teachers, and provided K-12 district-wide oversight for language arts and testing. KP is a certified reading specialist, supervisor, school administrator. Currently, she is the owner of KP Carter Writes LLC. Through her company, she writes and publishes books that inspire children to have a lifelong love of reading. In addition, she provides tutorial services and conducts parent workshops. So just a brief synopsis of her book she's about to read. The first book in the series, Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, is chronicles of the adventures of an 8-year-old, 3 generations of her colorful family, and the eventful summer of 1967. Lizzie can't wait to kick off her summer vacation of nonstop fun with her cousin Shushu, Mookie, and all the kids in her Newark, New Jersey neighborhood. Always wanting to be the center of attention, Lizzie is up to her usual antics and has several tricks up her sleeves to guarantee that all eyes are on her. Her father has other plans for Lizzie this summer. A 2-week trip from South Philadelphia that interrupts Lizzie's plans. After the 1967 rebellion in Newark, New Jersey, Lizzie and her family and the neighborhood are changed forever. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. K. It's your go, Ms. K. Your speaker is off.
There you go. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to meet you. So good to be here. Thank you, Ms. K, for having me. And these have been some wonderful books that have been read this evening, and I'm learning a lot. So I'm going to share a chapter book with you, Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes. This is the first book in the series. And it starts, did you ever take cod liver oil? It's a slimy, fish-smelling medicine that grown-ups tell you will knock the cold right out of you. Grandmommy pumped cod liver oil into us every morning from November through March, which was right around my birthday. And last March, I turned 8. On the first day of summer vacation, though, I had to take some of that disgusting stuff because I had been coughing, sneezing, and feeling really lousy. A cold was trying to catch me. I wrinkled my nose, squinted my eyes, and squeezed my lips, and only a managed to escape. Being careful not to spill one drop, Grandmommy slowly brought the tablespoon to my lips. And when the tip of the spoon touched my lips, I heaved, bucked, and made my head roll back and splat. The cod liver oil sprayed all over the bathroom mirror. Grandmommy frowned at that messy mirror. She shook her head and slowly and steadily poured another spoonful. A little whimper escaped, and I managed to squeeze a tear from my left eye, hoping she would see how bad I felt and stop. This time, when the spoon touched my lips, I crossed my eyes and staggered backwards a few steps, but I was so close to the sink, there was nowhere for me to go. I couldn't turn my back on Grandmommy, so I shivered, shuddered, shook my head, and watched in slow motion as Grandmommy's steady hand closed in on me. And this is a picture of Grandmommy's steady hand. Can you see that? Lizzie, if you want to go with your daddy on Wednesday, you'll take this medicine and keep it down, Grandmommy warned. A little part of me wanted to go with my daddy, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to spend 2 whole weeks away from everybody I knew and loved. That's because so much fun happened in the neighborhood during the summertime: skating, blowing bubbles, shooting hoops, and jumping rope. But when I was just a baby, almost 3 months old, my mommy left my daddy in Brooklyn to come back to her mother's house in Newark. And on that rainy Saturday afternoon, we brought all of our things with us, mostly just clothes. Family members whispered that Daddy had stopped paying attention to Mommy, or whatever happens when grown-ups don't get along anymore. We lived with Grandmommy, Granddaddy, and my 2 cousins, 13-year-old Shushu and 12-year-old Mookie, on Chadwick Court. Soon, Mommy found an apartment not too far away, and since Grandmommy took care of me during the day while Mommy worked, I guess it was just easier for me to stay at Grandmommy's house on Monday through Friday and spend weekends with my mommy. Well, that's what I found out when I got older. I can still hear Grandmommy talk about the day that Mommy returned to Newark from Brooklyn. My sweet grandbaby Lizzie, she's so small she fits right on a pillow. I had overheard this story 1,000 times, or maybe I really remember the day it happened. Then, when I was about 10 years old, my daddy mailed some papers for my mommy to sign, and other family members whispered that she wouldn't do it. Later, I found out that they were divorce papers, and then one day, he called on Grandmommy's black shiny dial-up phone. I hid behind Grandmommy's chair and held on to the back of it. Mommy cried into the phone, "But Dee, can't we work it out?" I could tell that my daddy was saying no on the other end of the phone because of that look on my mommy's face. And she began to look blurry through my tears. That was chapter 1 of Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes. And I hope you enjoyed it. It's the first book in the series. This is book 2. Lizzie B. Hayes and the Great Camp Caper. So I have some more adventures for Lizzie, and I'm working on the 3rd book now. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah. It seems like we're having some technical difficulties.
That's okay.
But thank you for coming on and reading Lacey's book and her adventures. From your first chapter, it seems intriguing and it relates to live experiences that kids can understand. So my question to you, as I've asked the other authors, what do you decide? What should you leave with the kids today?
So I want you to love your family, stick close to them, always be yourself. You'll find if you get to read Lizzie, she goes through a lot of things where she has to learn how to be herself. Always be yourself and keep your family close. Even if you live with an extended family like Lizzie did, there's still love.
Exactly. So especially now, we have to understand that we always loved, and family members, you have to keep them close. My next question is, what are your social media platforms so we can purchase Lizzie?
So my website is KP Carter Writes. That's WRITES.com. You can purchase the book on my website. And on Facebook, I'm KP Carter Author. And on Instagram, I am KP Carter Writes. I'm also on Twitter a little bit. I dabble on Twitter just a little bit, KP Carter Writes.
All right. That is amazing. So I want to wish you a great weekend and happy holidays. I thank you for coming on. I'm going to add Mr. Morris on so we could just close it out. So I've had these two amazing authors on here today. Thank you so much for joining the Read Out Loud Fridays train. I've seen some people have asked about the books and whatnot. I'll respond to them later, but I just want to wish everybody a happy weekend, happy holidays, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.